I'm Eva Von Dassow. I'm a faculty member in the College of Liberal Arts, and I was asked to speak about the faculty interest in reducing the cost of tuition for students. Every semester at about this time, students and faculty alike bump into the harsh reality that our reach has exceeded our grasp. For too many students, their reach has been pushed to excess and even to failure. Why? They must take 4 or 5 courses per semester to maintain financial aid eligibility, and even then they still have to work to make ends meet. It may look like a fine plan at registration time, but then the weeks pile up and the homework piles up and they can't keep up. Their time and attention are fragmented among so many subjects, so many competing obligations. And we're not talking about the extracurricular activities that students are encouraged to add to their resumes or the extracurriculars that they indulge in to relieve the stress. So, any undergraduates here? Undergraduates, raise your hands. Is this for political sci? No? Okay. So you are to be commended for your dedication to your studies. Well, but talking about the pressure of this point in the semester, something has to give by the week 13 or 14 or 15 or finals. Some students pull through, superficially learning whatever material they're assigned, though it may dissolve into a muddle the instant the final exam's done. Others drop one course, wisely lightening their load, but often too late to save the rest, while deferring the consequences to a future term. Some students pushed to keep going regardless because they have to graduate, because they can't afford another term, crack under the strain and suffer a total loss, temporary but total for the time. And they have to do this semester after semester. Why? Because they're pressured to graduate within the time frame specified by the performance metrics imposed by the legislature on the university as a condition of the state appropriation, which has diminished as tuition has risen. Why? Because tuition has risen so high that students can't afford to relax and learn the subject they're paying to study, because the cost and the prospect of debt impose upon them choices that suck the education out of their one chance at higher education. Under these circumstances, the last thing a student wants to hear from a teacher is, "Stop and think." They don't have time to think. Thinking takes time, and it's risky. You might get something wrong. They don't have time to think. All they have time for is a recipe to get through. So paradoxically, the more students have to pay for tuition, the more they are compelled to try to get as little as possible for their money. Meanwhile, the pressure is also redirected to faculty, not only because we can't teach students whose circumstances constrain them from learning, we are also pressured to give them passing grades nonetheless, grades that will allow them to achieve some specified number in order to qualify for financial aid, to graduate eventually, or just not to fail, regardless of what they learned. What then do grades and credentials signify if they do not signify attainment of knowledge, but only submission to financial demands? That financial pressure, pushed down from central administration through colleges to departments to individual faculty, also means that curricula are shaped to boost enrollment numbers, not according to educational considerations. We run courses with titles like Pirates of the Caribbean because we think they will sell. We still try to fill all courses with academically sound content, but our curriculum now represents the product of a market, not the product of educational objectives. So how can we, the faculty, do our jobs and form graduates who are informed, thoughtful, ones who can participate in our political system as voters and as leaders too? For us to teach and students to learn at the optimal level, tuition must be reduced, if not to 1970s levels, at least far below its present cost. And by the way, if any of you are thinking, well, faculty, you're the problem. You have tenure and nice salaries. Well, no, you need to learn something about the university's budget. And I'll tell you this. Faculty of all categories, contingent, tenure stream, and other, graduate students too, account for somewhat more than 20% of the university's total budget. Tenure stream faculty, maybe half of that. So faculty are not the cost driver. In fact, the least expensive way to get a quality education is to ensure job security and academic freedom for all faculty and students.